Mm. Okay, good morning, all my children. In today's video, I thought of doing a past paper, which is from the 2016 all about, the new syllabus Buddhism paper. So, for every paper, there are two parts, part one, part two. Part one is the MCQ part, and part two is the essay type questions. But in today's video, I'm not gonna do the MCQ part because you can do it yourself. But I'm gonna do the part two, the essay type questions. So you know very well, right? The structure and the instructions of the paper, right? Do not forget to read the instruction first, right? So here you can see the instructions given. Answer 5 questions only, choosing the first one, and any 4 questions. This first one is compulsory, right? Including the first one and any other 4 questions. So altogether, 5. So the first question carries 20 marks, another question 10 marks, right? So do not forget to read the instructions and stick to the instructions thoroughly. Okay, we can have a look at this one. So this is basically 2016 Buddhism O-level English medium paper based on the new syllabus. Okay, we can have a look quickly. What is the name of Prince Siddhartha's Brahmin teacher who taught him? Right, so you don't need to write in detail, right? Just write down the answer, precisely and in short form, right? Just the name of the teacher, right? You don't need to evaluate, you don't need to explain, no, you don't need to describe, right? So kind of Sarvamitra, right? Then what are the 2 main methods of bhavana? Right, there are 2 main methods of bhavana. There are many bhavana. Some gives answer like anapanasati, maitri. No. On the top, there are 2 main theories of meditation, methods of meditation. Simply samatha and vipassana. Do not forget that, right? Always keep in mind samatha and vipassana. Do not write your answer with anapanasati, maitri, sakman bhavana. No, not like that. 2 main theories of meditation are samatha and vipassana. Samatha means tranquility meditation. Vipassana means insight meditation. Then number 3, according to the Buddhist teachings, illness are twofold. What are they? There are many illnesses, but they come into existence into kind of in many ways. But when we categorize them, they are basically twofold, right? Kayika roga and manasika roga. Mental illnesses and physical illnesses. Okay, then number 4, write the names of the authors who wrote Dhamma text Pujavali and Sadharma Ratnavali. So Sadharma Ratnavali is basically written by Reverend Dharmasena. Pujavali is done by Reverend Mayurapada Thero. Yeah, Pujavali. I hope Mayurapada Thero. Yes, Mayurapada Thero is the author of Pujavali. Dharmasena Thero is the author of Sadharma Ratnavali. Right. Then what is the quality of Thadi reflected in Buddha's character? Thadi Gunaya. Thadi means that means not being shaken by the 8 kind of vicissitudes or 8 kind of worldly conditions. The Buddha was never shaken by any 8 kind of worldly conditions, laba, laba, ninda, prasangsa, sapadukya, size, and so on. And number 5, name Satara Sangraha Vastu. You can either support your answer in Pali or Sinhala Dana Priya Vachana Arthacharyava Samanatmathave, no problem, right? Or else you can write in English as well. Dana means kind of being generous. Dana, sila, morality, generosity, morality, kind words, Priya Vachana Arthacharyava, altruism, sort of, right? You can either support your answer in Sinhala or else in Pali, but you have to write in English because you are doing it English medium simply, okay? Number 6, Chetanaham Bhikkhave Kammang Vadami. Write the meaning of this statement. Chetanaham Bhikkhave Kammang Vadami. Mahanini Mama, Chetanava Karmeyai Vadarami. Dear monks, I state or I declare or I remark the intention is the karma. Karma is volition or karma is the intention. Then number 8, Yedhamma Hetu Pabhavate Sanghetu Tathagato Ate Sangchayo Nirodho Evang Vadi Mahasamu. What doctrinal fact of Buddhism is explained in this stanza, right? So clearly remember that if you find this stanza anywhere in your paper, this very stanza talks about Paticca Samuppada, the theory of causality, right? Okay. Why Pustakaruda Sangita is known by that name? Number 9, right? Compulsory question number 9. This is a 2016 Buddhism paper, right? New syllabus. I guess is the new syllabus, right? So we are doing the compulsory one right now. So this is number 9. Right? Why Pustakaruda Sangita is known by that name? Because in this special Sangitya council, the teachings of the Buddha had been written in kind of inscriptions, right? In leaves, something like that, right? Otherwise, up to that moment, the teachings of the Buddha had been transmitting orally. It was, orally transmitted up to that moment of the Pustakaruda Sangitya in Matalalu Vihara. So in that particular Sangitya, all the leading monks, the gathering, they decided to keep the teachings of the Buddha written somewhere, right? That's why it's known as Pustakaruda, right? Copy the teachings of the Buddha into text in writing. Name the 4 animal symbols found in moonstone. So the Garbhana of Anuradhapura period, right? Moonstone is a marvelous architecture of ancient Sri Lankan artists, right? Of the ancient Sri Lankan artists. So you will find 4 symbols of animals: cow, horse, elephant, and cow, horse, elephant, and there's one more, right? There's one more. I forgot it. We can have a look anyway. Okay, give me a second. Yeah, elephant, horse, lion, and cow. Elephant, horse, lion, and cow, right? So these are the elephant, horse, lion, and the cow. Okay. Now let's move on to the essay type questions, right? So the essay type questions are starting from 2, right? And remember that for each question, there are 3 parts, 1, 2, 3. For question number 1, you have just to give a short answer because it's a 2 marks question, right? Name 2 of the Dasaparamitas. If they ask 2, then it's 2. Not more than, not less than that, 2. You don't need to explain it in detail, right? Because you will get a chance to explain then, right? Okay, let's have a look at this. Name 2 of the Dasaparamita. There are 10 perfections, Buddha Karaka Dharma, right? a person who is seeking to be a Buddha, he has to, or she has to practice them, right? Then we call them paramita. There are 10. Dhanam, sila, nekam, panya, virya, khanti, sacha, ditthana, metta, and upekha. And so you have just to write only 2 of the 10. Dana and sila, generosity and morality. Then question number 2, sub question 2, explain with examples one of the paramitas you mentioned above, right? So if you have mentioned dana, you have to explain dana in one or in a few sentences, but you have to support your answer with facts and points, examples, right? For instance, if you write about dana, you have to support your answer with proper examples, right? So the best example is Vesantara, right? So you can just start your answer like this. There are 10 paramitas, and out of 10, dana is the first one. Dana means generosity. Any person who seeks the Buddhahood in future, they have to practice it in 3 ways: paramita, apaparamita, and paramatta paramita, right? And the Buddha, too, in his previous lives, in Bodhisattva period, he practiced this at a larger scale, right? For instance, Vesantara Jataka is a very, classic example for that, right? He practiced this to his level best. He had given up his wife, his children, his kingship, his elephant, right? And even his kingdom, right? That is how the Bodhisattva, he fulfilled his paramita. And there's another example, Sasajatake, right? Sasa means rabbit. The rabbit was jumping from a mountain to the mouth of a demon. So upon an agreement, one condition, you have to say a word, Buddha, or Dhamma, Sangha, right? Any kind of Dhamma words, right? While I jump from the top of the mountain to your mouth, please say a word, right? Say Buddha, Dhamma, whatever, right? Give me a Dhamma talk, Banak, Punji Banak, and Kanda La Paina, Karata Paina. So that is how he practiced paramita, right? So these are classic examples, right? Santara Jataka and Sasa. You can support your answer with the examples. You don't need to waste so much time on this because it's a 3 marks question. Keep it short, right? Just try to, give your answer with 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 sentences, right? It depends how long your sentence is, right? But you have to give examples. Don't forget that. Then number 3, the sub question number 3 is always a general question. You have to support your answer with a kind of overall understanding of the main point. Now, for example, let's have a look at this. Describe how the qualities of paramitas contribute to the establishment of a righteous and wholesome society, right? Describe how the qualities of paramita contribute to the establishment of a righteous and wholesome society. So here the main point is paramita contribute to the establishment of a righteous society. So you have to give your answer using proper examples. So you can start your answer like this. Dana means generosity. People nowadays in the society are very selfish. They don't feel the pain of others, right? They are selfish. They try to collect things more and more, right? But if they practice the Bodhisattva Charya, or if they practice the paramita like dana, if they practice from the bottom of their hearts, they would be altruistic. They would never be selfish. The selfish motives may never come again, right? And so there would be no poor people in the world, right? Everybody would get this share of the wealth available in this world. Not only a small group of people will rejoice in that, but when it is shared to all, everybody would become happy and no fights for economic, dominance, right? No fighting for oil, right? And then Shilaya, right? You can support your answer with more examples because it's a 5 marks question. Do not forget that, right? So you can take another example. Sila is morality. Many people nowadays lack morality, right? They lack morality. They don't have self-discipline. They have no control over their body. They have no control over their words. They speak slang words even in public, right? They speak slang words in the parliament, which is one of the highest place in the country, right? And they speak harsh words in public in gatherings, right? When they are addressing a meeting, they use harsh words, slang words. That is not a good example, right? That's a bad example for the future generation. So if people, all the people, regardless of their class, right, and status, if all the people practice morality, sila, it can contribute to a disciplined behavior, and it can contribute to a control of mind, body, and words, right? So people have to practice sila in order to have a disciplined and control the body. And then meditation is also very important, right? People nowadays are acting like a beast, right? Acting like beast and very, short tempered. They are getting angry very quickly for a slightest thing. For a slight thing, they get angry, right? They are getting furious, right? So if they practice meditation, they can keep their mind calm. Their mind is calm and quiet, right? And so on. And then virya, that means untiring efforts, which is very important, right? Especially students, if they are struggling with their education, they have to work hard. They have to use their untiring efforts, because without using untiring efforts, there is no success at all, right? Not any single successful people in the world has ever, been successful, automatically. No, behind their success, there had been so much, hardships, sleepless nights, untiring efforts, right? Only after that they have been able to achieve success. So untiring efforts, virya, right, is very important, right? And then Maitri, Metta is also kind of paramita out of 10. Metta is also paramita. Maitri is very important, right? Nowadays people have no Maitri, right? They have just hateful thoughts about others, right? So people need to develop Maitri, right? And they have to look at others as their own siblings. People have to look at women as their own mothers and sisters. And they have to look at men as their brothers and fathers, like that. So in that sense, generally, paramitas can help us, so it can contribute us to lead to a peaceful and kind society, right? So you can use your kind of view like this, right? You can provide your answer with examples, right? So don't forget to put examples, 2, 3, 4, 5 or more, right? But keep it short, right? Stick to the point, right? Don't go off topic. If they ask about paramita, you don't go to say about arisatya, chaturarisatya, no. Stick to the point, right? Okay. Then question number 3, complete and write the stanza, Sukarani asadhuni attano hitani cha, yang ve hitang cha sadhung cha tang ve paramadukkara, right? So write the meaning of the stanza, means Sukarani asadhuni attano hitani cha. It is not easy to do good and beneficial things to oneself, right? Right? But it's very easy to do bad and evil things that brings harm to oneself. That's the meaning. Narakadewal karanda. Amaru hon lesi hon deval karanda amaru, like that. නරක දේවල් කරන්න ලේසි. හොඳ දේවල් කරන්න අමාරුයි, right? කෙනෙකුට that brings peace, harmony to oneself and others. Such things are not easy to do. But people do bad things very easily, right? Okay. Then the third sub-question, review how far this teaching of the Buddha contributes to a successful life, right? So you have to do a brainstorm, right? And and you have to support your answer with points as well, right? Review how far this teaching of the Buddha contributes to a successful life. So you have to prove it, reason it out. Like people nowadays are likely to do bad things, right? And it's very easy for them to do bad, right? For example, they can easily harm others, torture others, they can easily tell lies. You have to take the 5 precepts as an example, right? You don't say the 5 precepts, no. Just take the precepts as an example to support this answer, right? Because you have to stick to the main point. The main point is it is very easy to do bad, but very difficult to do good. That's the main point. So you have to stick to that point, then support your answer with the precepts, right? People nowadays are very kind of vulnerable to bad or evil activities, like they torture others, panatipata, they steal other things properly, but they are not vulnerable to generosity, right? They are not easy to kind of share things with others, right? Then they misuse their sense faculties, kamesamichachara, and they tell lies, right? And they use drugs and intoxicants, right? Which are very easy, right, for people to commit, right? So but if the people practiced peacefulness, on behalf of kind of torturing and harming others, if they practiced the positive side of it, maitri, right, it can lead to a successful life. If people, without stealing others' properties, if they practiced kind of generosity, right, if they shared things with others, if they loved all the people in the world equally, it would be really successful and peaceful life. Then without engaging in sexual misconduct, if people practice the opposite of it, if people practice the love and genuine care, right, it would lead to a successful family life, right? If people, without being liar, if they practice truthfulness, the genuineness, right? If they practice the genuine kind of words, if they practice the truthfulness, it can lead to a peaceful society, right? And if the people, without using drugs, if they kind of if they practiced concentration and mindfulness, it can lead to a peaceful society, right? And you can support your answer that way, right? Okay. Then number 4, name 2 of the 4 noble truths. There are 4 noble truths. Dukkha, Samudaya, Nirodha, Magga, right? The noble truth of suffering, and the noble truth of the cause of suffering, the noble truth of cessation of suffering, and the noble truth of the path leading to the cessation of suffering, right? So you can just write 2 of them, dukkha and samudaya, dukkha satya, samudaya satya, right? The noble truth of suffering and the noble truth of the cause of suffering. Then sub-question number 2, explain why the 4 noble truths are named as Arya Satya. They are Arya, noble, because nobody can say no, right? This is, all-encompassing truth. All-encompassing truth, and every single being in the world can practice this, right? regardless of class, categories, and religion. And now dukkha is common to all living beings, no matter whether it's from a different religion, whether it's a Buddhist or non-Buddhist. Dukkha is there all the time, right? Kayika dukkha, manasika dukkha, right? Everybody faces dukkha, right? So it is noble. Nobody can change it. It's common to all, right? And it is the eternal truth, right? Whether there is Buddha or not, this is an eternal truth, everlasting, right? And that's the way, right? Dukkha is there, and we have to find the cause of it. Why dukkha arise? Because of craving, attachment, greediness. That is kind of the unchanging truth, right? Nobody can change it, right? That's why it's called noble. And the cessation of the stopping of all the suffering is nirvana, simply. When there is no greediness, when no attachment, no defilements, there is nibbana. When there is no trishna, there is nibbana. And the path is all the time the noble eightfold path, right? That is the most appropriate path to the cessation of, or to the stop, to the stopping of suffering, is the noble eightfold path. Then number 3, explain how the Four Noble Truths can be applied as a method for resolving our problems in the mundane life. Remember that Noble Truths, the Four Noble Truths, is a unique way, unique theory of, solving or solving any problems, right? Now, why is it? The first Noble Truth says the problem. Yeah, dukkha is a problem. And the second Noble Truth says about why that arises, why it happens. That means why. Number 3 is, we can stop this problem. Number 4 says, fourth Noble Truth says, what theories we have to follow practically to stop the problem. Now, for example, if you take in a family life, mundane life, here mundane means G.C.E, right? Mundane life. Now, let's take an issue in a family life, economic problem, right? Yeah, we have so many economic crisis, financial crisis in the family. Yeah, the problem is there. Then let's have a look at the cause of the problem. Why financial crisis arises in our family? Why is that? Maybe because of overconsumption, because of no management at all. Maybe uh, our father is, addicted to alcohol and drugs. Maybe the children are, wasting the money for unusual things, improper things, drugs, alcohol, bad friendships, womanizing. So there are many causes, not only one causes, remember that. For a particular issue, there can be one or more causes, more reasons for that, right? Then yes, we can stop this economic crisis in our family. We can stop this financial crisis. Yes, we can, right? That is the third noble truth. And fourth noble truth simply says the theory that we have to apply, right? Practically, if we want to stop these financial crisis in our family, what we should do, what we have to do. We have to work hard. We have to manage our wealth. We have to find proper income, right? And we have to stop unnecessary wastage of wealth, like that, right? That is the practical way. Okay. Then number 5 is a good question here, right? This 2016 O-level English medium paper, right? So here, and yeah, one thing, all the time in every O-level papers, you will find a question coming from the, lesson Buddhist Council. You will either find a question from the first Buddhist Council, second Buddhist, or third Buddhist, or fourth Buddhist Council. So all the time in every O-level papers, every O-level paper has this question, especially these two. One is from a kind of how to say Buddhist Council, and another one is from Dhammapada, right? So for Buddhist Council, I will do a separate video for that, right? I will do a separate video for Buddhist Council, because there are 3 Buddhist councils, 4 Buddhist council, and there are 5 Buddhist councils. I will be doing a video for you to have an understanding about the councils very soon, right? Okay. Now let's just have a look at this, right? Very quickly. Number 5, question number 5, sub-question number 1, right? The Bhikkhu Subhadra's remark that influenced the first Buddhist council, right? You know very well, that is the proximate reason, right, for the first Buddhist council, Bhikkhu Subhadra's remark. So his remark was, dear monks, why you are crying? Why you are lamenting? You don't need to cry, you don't need to lament, right? Now we are free from the Buddha. Now we are free from the great Sramana. Now we can do whatever we want. And now we should not do what we do not like, what is not good for us, right? This is really an alarming statement, right? So that is a remark. Keep it short, right? Dear Reverend, why you are crying? Why you are lamenting? Do not cry, do not lament. Now we are free from the great Sramana. Now there is no one to, promulgate rules for us. Now we can do what is good for us, and we should not do what is not good for us, like that. That's the answer. And then sub-question number 2, name the venue of the first Buddhist council, the entrance of Saptaparni cave in Benares, the chief patron, Ajatasattu, and the Arahantero is Mahakassapa. Then number 3, sub-question number 3, describe the organized measures taken. Yeah, in the first Buddhist council, the Sutta and Vinaya was divided into several sections. Sutta was divided into Digha Nikaya, Majjhima Nikaya, Samyutta, Khuddaka, Anguttara. And each section was handed over to different monks. For example, Digha Nikaya was handed over to Ananda Hamadru and his disciples. Majjhima Nikaya was handed over to Sariputta and his disciples, like that. That is the organized measures taken at the first Buddhist council for the preservation of Buddhism, right? Otherwise, until up to this first Buddhist council, there had been no organized measures of the teachings of the Buddha. Right? Buddha taught teachings here and there, right? And monks also had taught teachings of the Buddha here and there, but they did not categorize it as Dhamma and Vinaya, Sutta and Vinaya. It was only after the first Buddhist council, or at the first Buddhist council, the teachings of the Buddha, the entire teachings of the Buddha was separated into 2 main kind of sections, Sutta and Vinaya, and each sections had been, given to different or certain monks to preserve it for future generation, right? That is very important. Then question number 6 is from the Buddhist arts and architecture, right? So yeah, this is a very common question. I have seen in 2 or 3 O-level papers. This question is coming, right? According to, we can have a look, question number 6, sub-question number 1. According to the shape of the matrix of stupa, its shape is mainly 6-fold, 6. Ghantakara, Ghatakara, Bubbulakara, Amalakara, Dhanyakara, and so on, right? Write 2 shapes of them, only 2, because you are getting 2 marks from this one, the first question. So keep it short, precise, right? 2 shapes, Ghantakara, the shape of a bell, Bubbulakara, the shape of a bubble. Okay. Then number 2, draw a picture of a stupa and name its parts. Very simple. You have to draw a kind of a picture of a stupa like this, and you have to name its parts. The basement, Padma, and a kind of dome, Garbhaya, deity square, Devatakutu, and spiral, and cylinders, and And then finally, the gem, the crystal gem, right? So you have to name its parts. There are 6 or 7 parts, not more than that, right? Then number 3 is kind of a general question. You have to evaluate the creative skills of Sri Lankan artists, architects, and sculptors. So you have to take the entire Sri Lankan art and architecture into a single kind of point. Then you have to support your answer with the examples. Now you can take the statues of the Buddha. You know how marvelous the ancient architects were. You know, they constructed the statues of the Buddha in different shapes. They created the statues as walking and standing, sitting. You can have a look at Samadhi Buddha statue in Anuradhapura, which is one of the finest Buddha statues in the world, right? And it was really marvelous, right? And you can have a look at Pornarugal Vihara, how the curvings are, the curvings of the statue, how they have curved the robe. Very smart, very kind of speechless, right? Amazing, right? And then you can have a look at Aukana statue. Right? One single person worked, behind the stage to curve the Aukana statue, Bharana, right? Bharana, the kind of sculptor, right? And Sandakara Bahana, you can have a look at Sandakara Bahana, how powerful a message is being given through the Sandakara Bahana, right? There are 4 animals that represents 4 different things in Buddhism, Chaturara Satya sometimes. And you can have a look at Vatadagaya, and you can just talk about how to say Bodhighara, right? The surrounding wall made by the Bodhi tree for the protection of the Bodhi tree, and the pilgrimages, right, for the protection of the people who are worshipping the Bodhi tree. There had been a roof-like substance, so that the people who worship it, are safe from natural problems, rain and heat. And then Chaitya Ghar, a special, surrounding roof made for the protection of pagoda, right? See how marvelous this structure is, and so on. So you can just take a few examples and evaluate them, appreciate their work, right? So you can easily get 5 marks, right? Okay, then the last question. So last question is always about writing short notes, right? So here you can find 4. You just have to write 2 out of 4, right? Srimad Anagarika Dharmapala Ananasukha, Pansi Panajataka Putvanse, the arrival of Arahant Sangamita. So here you can have a look at these. I have categorized the short notes, that had been asked in every O-level papers, right? In 2016, they asked about Anagarika Dharmapala, Ananasukha, Pansipana Jataka Putvanse, and arrival of Arahant Sangamita. In 2017 also, you can find Velivita Saranankara Hamduru, Satara Sangraha Vastu, Council of Matalayalu Vihari, right? And Moonstones on the Gadabahan. In 2018, you can find Redukane Chandanimaru, Kalyana Mittata, good friendship, and Sadharma Radnavali, Buddha statue. Oh, pretty simple. And in 2019, Dutukamanu, King Dutukamanu, oh, we are studying about him from grade 1. Uttana Sampada, right? And then Vatadagaya, right? Trilakshana. Then in 2020, Srimad Anagarika Dharmapala, the same, right? From 2016, right? Samajivikata, Balanced Life, Sataragati, right? And Nikkam Paramita. Oh, very simple. Right? So you just have to write short notes, not lengthy answers, give short kind of write short notes. You know how to write short notes, right? So this is basically the part 2 uh, of 2016 Buddhism paper in Buddhism, right? Sorry, in English medium, sorry. So that is how you have to, write your answers, right? And on the top, you have to have a proper time management. Now, for example, for questions like this, for number 1, you should not take too much time for the first question. For the second one, take few minutes, 2, 3, right? 2, 3, 2. It depends on your speed of writing. Even 2 is kind of more for this one, right? Just keep it sweet and short, right? Then this one is the general question. You have to have a general idea about the main point. And in the third, this one, the third sub question, you have to support your answer with facts, right? Stick to the point. Do not go off topic, right? Okay. So that's all for today, and I hope you had an idea. You were able to get an idea about the paper, right? Yeah. So good luck. All the best, everyone. And if you have any questions, just don't forget to write down in the comment sections, and I will do more videos for you in the near future, right? Thank you very much.